My hands are so fucking dry. They're gonna fall off from the constant soap. They're so dry. Like, I've washed my hands 3 times since I've walked in the fucking door and I've been home. Just to make sure. And then I'm like, don't touch your face, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. All day. I'm like itchy. I'm like, my eye starts spasming, my eyebrow. I'm like, I can't touch it. My good friend Kendra is here as our guest today. And cheers, Kendra. Thanks for coming down.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
We're having the Vaporware Vienna Lager for our first beer this evening in collaboration with Wellspring Edmonton. And that's brought to you by our beer of the podcast, Analog, making great stuff happen. They have a tap room there too. We got to go visit sometime.
I totally want to go and check it out.
They have like standing arcade machine. I went inside that room for the first time this week, and the tap room was closed because it was like Tuesday or something. It was Monday. And the staff were in there playing a game of D&D.
Really?
And I'm like, I fucking love you guys. This is cool.
I love that, like, they're like your beer choice just because of how like it totally coincides with the 90s.
Yep.
And like I totally love that idea of going and there's like arcade games and stuff. That's really cool.
Well, I knew about their aesthetic when I started this thing, and I was like, these are the right guys.
Perfect.
To get in with us, and they were more than happy to. Adam and Brian are super cool. They are the guys who head up Analog Brewery and supplied us with this wonderful beer that we're drinking today to get us in the mood.
It's awesome.
Get us in the chat mood.
I really like it. I love their like the style of their like the design of their beer is
This
really
one's
cool.
like, this is a celebration beer. Look at that.
It totally makes you want to party.
Yeah. You know what?
Party
I
in a
just
can.
realized the back of this label looks like the old Windows 3.1
Oh, totally.
Windows.
There's like
We have more than one window open and it's like layered.
that's really cool.
It looks just like that.
I love
But-
it. It's very
yeah.
nostalgic.
Hence no nostalgia. This is a very exciting episode. We're going to be doing probably a 2-parter on this because we have not only so much information to share on this band, but I was lucky enough to have 2 interviews to share with you guys. One interview has already been conducted, and that is with the lead singer of Mr. Big. His name is Eric Martin, one of the most beautiful voices in rock and roll, I think.
It's like one of my favorites growing up listening to him. I remember listening to him and wanting to figure out how he sings like that so I could sing like that.
Yeah.
Because like it's just everything. He's got such a cool range and he's got like, you know, such a nice like cool tone and versatile. Like he
Yeah.
can sing so many like the ballads that he sings and then singing like some of his like harder rock stuff like Addicted
yeah.
to That Rush. You know, that song, I love that song. And it's just so different from like To Be With You, which is what most people I think know.
One of the nice things about chatting with him and getting to know more about Eric over this week was just the fact that he can sing more styles than rock too.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, like,
so cool.
I should show this video at some point. There's a YouTube video of him because they're huge in Japan. Mr. Big is huge in Japan.
Yeah, they were like that mainly huge in Japan. Like I don't like because To Be With You is like the main one that most people know. Just Take My Heart was another one that was released, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was that was the second like of the bigger singles.
Yeah.
Because the very first single off the album, Lean Into It, was Green Tinted 60s Mind,
I love that song.
which is one of my favorite songs ever by
so
anyone.
good. It's so awesome. And
It's such a well-written tune.
But it's different too. It's kind of quirky. But
Yeah.
like it's I loved it too because it was such a different song. And like you listen to like their greatest hits album and you can just hear just the vast amount of like genres that he can sing and that's totally one of them. I love that song.
I found that song kind of difficult to sing because I hooked it up so that it's available at karaoke now.
Yeah.
If you don't know, we're big karaoke enthusiasts and hosts.
Just a little bit.
So I made a karaoke version of that song just so I could sing it. I found an instrumental version of it online
Yeah.
off YouTube. I ripped it off YouTube. The cops are gonna come arrest me.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody, guys. Well, anyways, I ripped it off YouTube and then I put it through this program where I added some backing vocals to it because it didn't have any. So I threw in a couple harmonies there. When I listen to it now, I realize it's the exact same harmony, just an octave apart. But it still fills it out nice.
It totally does. Because I was there when you sang it, and it totally made me want to try it. So
I'm going to play it. Wait, can I play it on here? No, I won't. I can add it into the mix after.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that.
But I did try it too at JD's show.
Did you try it?
I did. After I heard you sing it, I was like, oh, I love that song. I want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like, he's just a little bit like too low. So I'm like, I'm going to take it up a key.
That's funny because for a male voice, his voice is high.
Yeah,
but
it's
you,
true.
now Kendra's a fantastic singer, but she's got a very high range.
It's true. Like,
she struggles with the low stuff.
I do. And people make fun of me because like I end up having to key like everything up. But yeah, I tried to key that one up, but like there's so much modulation, and I was like, my brain's like trying to figure out where the hell all these notes are supposed to go now. It was a difficult song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kudos to Eric Martin.
Yeah, it is. But I wish there was more Mr. Big songs on karaoke because I would love to sing them all, man.
Oh, me too. I love so many of them. Like a lot of their ballads I love, and there's just not enough of them out there.
No. One of my favorite parts of the interview with Eric is when we talk about album tracks. I told him to tell me like songs that he had wished were hits, and then I gave him 3 examples of songs that I really enjoyed that were basically album tracks. And he was so excited about them that I got so excited, like, because we're not doing a video chat, we're doing an audio chat. So I'm sitting here just like having a little freak out, like really quietly so he can't hear me. I'm like, so exciting.
You held yourself together pretty good.
Yeah.
But I could totally tell, like, just from knowing you that you were pretty excited.
As soon as he got up and goes, hold on, I gotta go grab the guitar. I sat here, I'm like,
I know. I was so excited too. I was just like
I was hoping he would do like more singing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He gave us these little teases, and I'm like,
little tidbits. But you could totally tell. You could totally tell his voice is still so good.
Still so
like
good.
the quality was so like there. I was just like, it's such a tease because
That's
he
why I
just
wanted to
gave me a
ask
little
him
bit
about how he takes care of it and everything. He just basically like you and I, like he likes to party and have some drinks once in a while, and
yeah.
Isn't that when he said about it's not the next day that you feel fucked up. It's the
totally,
day after
it's
that.
It's the day after that.
You
Yeah.
can't
You're
sing.
just like, but I was fine yesterday. It doesn't make any sense. I love that you brought up the whole thing about Ninja with him.
I still have to email him the link to what Nimjam is.
I love that because like I'm such an advocate for that stuff because it really does
You're
work.
the first person who told me about it.
I tell
it's like
everybody
a Chinese
about
cough
it.
syrup.
Yeah, it is. It's a herbal Chinese cough syrup, and I swear to God, I should probably get paid for endorsing them so much because I do. I tell everybody, Ninja, get it. It'll make you sing better when you don't have a voice.
Well, he said, and he said something because he kind of talked about making a book of these things. So I think that I was like, here, put this in your book.
It's so worth it. Like, no joke. I remember JD and I were going to be playing a gig where I literally lost my voice. We were rehearsing that afternoon. We had to do a 45-minute set that night, and I had nothing coming out at all. I was panicking. So then I like literally got a bottle of Ninja and drank practically the entire bottle before we got on stage. And 45
Does it
minutes.
have medicine in it? Like it's not good. So no, it's not going to. It's not going to make you kooky or kill you.
No,
you can't overdose.
It's all herbal. At least I don't. I've drank a whole bottle, so I didn't overdose. So
Okay.
that's, I guess, I don't know if that's good advice, but I literally sang 45 minutes and my voice was like.
Let me tell you, I hate the taste of menthol. I hate the taste of Buckley's. Who doesn't hate Buckley's? But I hate the taste of a lot of those things like that have like a eucalyptus flavor. Mm-hmm. It grosses me out. I just have always been that way. But I tried Nimjam. I'd already known about it because of you telling me, but I hadn't bought it yet. And then one of the girls at work brought it to work like 3 weeks ago. Nimjam, I'm like, oh, my friend told me about this. Let me taste it, and it tastes pretty good.
It's actually I actually really like it, and I love that it does taste good because I've tried so many things like I know Eric Martin even mentioned like all the throat sprays and lozenges and stuff, and I never found any of that even really worked that well, and a lot of times it didn't taste very good. But then you get this thing, and Ninja is like so good, and it does work really well. So I tell everybody about it.
Yeah,
I really should.
Here's
paid.
this is what I'm not a doctor. I'm the furthest thing from it, but what I understand anatomy, how it works because of my hypochondria. I may as well get a doctor's diploma because of all the times I've looked up symptoms on the internet.
Dr.
Anyway,
Google.
Dr. Google, my middle name. Okay, so the windpipe and where your voice box and your vocal cords are located is in a different place than the esophagus, right? They're not in the same place. So, like, how does a throat coat going down your esophagus help your vocal cords? Because they're in the wind area. They're where the lungs are, where you go down to the lungs.
Yeah.
The windpipe.
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
I'm so confused. Somebody message us.
Somebody, is there a doctor listening that could explain this?
As John Bon Jovi would say, is there a doctor in the house?
Yes. I love that you can find a way to throw the Bon Jovi.
I should do it for every show, but everybody would be like, geez, Naomi, enough.
I love that, like, the more you do it, though, you're finding more and more things to kind of bring to the table. Like, I love, like, I told you how much I love the little excerpts of, like, the old commercials.
After
and stuff.
these messages, we'll be right back.
Yes, I love it. It's just, especially because, like, given the name is nostalgia, it totally does.
Yeah.
It brings you right back to, like, your childhood and, like, watching, like, Saturday morning cartoons or, like, you know, just, like, seeing those, like, Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Yeah,
Like,
I threw that with body break in there the
yeah,
other day.
yeah. That's awesome, though. I love it.
My heartfelt plea to MC Hammer: you haven't called, you haven't texted, you haven't emailed me, MC Hammer. I still want you to come on the show. Remember, did you hear the theme to Hammerman?
Yes, I did.
Did you know that MC Hammer had a cartoon on in the mornings?
I did not. I was actually blown away when I listened to that. I was like, how did I not know this?
I bet you it was only one season though. It was. I don't think it was very long. Like,
yeah,
it didn't run
probably
very long.
not.
It was around the same time that New Kids on the Block had a morning cartoon. In fact, they might have been back to back at some point, I think.
I totally forgot that New Kids had one as well.
On ABC.
Yeah, that's right.
Hammer man, hammer man, hammer. Whenever there's a crime, some crooks are gonna do time. They all better beware, cause the hammer man will be there. Here's how it started a long time ago. The legend of the hammer and how it began to grow. He was given magical shoes from a hip-hop Motown dude. Together they had power. They stood up for what was right. But Gramps was getting old and he couldn't keep up the fight. Right. So Gramps and his granddaughter, they went out on the road to find a man they knew could jam, who was worthy of the load. They met a guy named Stanley. Who was dancing every night. He helped the kids play every day. His heart was out of sight. So Gramps opened up the bag and took out the magical shoes. He set them on the ground and they soon began to groove. The shoes knew at once they had finally found their man. They hopped right on his feet and he became Hammer Man, Hammer Man, Hammer, Hammer Man, Hammer, Hammer Man, Hammer, Hammer Man, Hammer. Oh yeah!
I have one of them on VHS. One of my old buddy Dwayne Hartley. He used to run the video store in Gibbons, where I grew up. Gibbons, Alberta, a town of 3,000 people. And I hung out at the video store all the time. Like, I couldn't get enough of the video store. I shouldn't have been at the video store as much as I was, because they were trying to actually run a business, and I'm just hanging out all the time. But he, when he closed the video store, unfortunately, that's the way of the world and how it had to go. He's like, I have a present for you. And he had on VHS 2 videos he gave me. One was Def Leppard, Pyromania in the Round or something or Hysteria in the Round.
Okay.
So on VHS.
Yeah.
And it was one of the New Kids on the Block cartoons.
That's awesome.
And I was like, you're such a good friend. That is so memorable.
That's a good friend that knows you really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how I spent the early 90s, was hanging out at the fucking video store.
Yeah.
Because I thought that the people who worked there were super cool.
Like,
They were all in bands and shit. I had a major crush on one of the guys who worked at the video store because he had long hair and he was so cute, and he was a drummer in a band that played in town and they toured and stuff. And I was just like, I loved him so much. But he was 19 or 20 at that time, and I was like 13, 14. So I'm like, Jamie, I was like hanging around there. Oh, they all knew I was in love with him, whatever. But I wonder what he's doing now. I've always wanted to find that man now, because now it would be fine. He's probably married with kids.
It'd be really funny if he like listened to this podcast and be like, I remember that kid.
You know, I've talked to Dwayne, the video store owner, forever, and we both don't know where Jamie is. Tried to find Jamie, don't know where he is. The last we heard, he moved to southern Alberta and he was married with kids. I was like, oh, that's all right. I hope Jamie's happy out there. Jamie, if you're listening. Jamie's the one who got me into Alice in Chains.
I love Alice in Chains.
2 bands he got me into, Alice in Chains and Enough's Enough, which was the one that Eric and I were talking at near the end of the interview.
Yes, that's right. I remember you guys mentioning that. I didn't
don't know if you've
know
heard
them
Enough's Enough.
as much. I have heard of them. I don't know if I know any of their music, but Alice in Chains was a big one for me in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. The Dirt was one of my favorite albums ever. Still is.
That's the one that Jamie would play, was Dirt.
Yeah.
And he played at the video store all the time. And I was like, this is cool. Like,
It's so
how
good.
they're singing is what really got me.
Yeah.
I was like, it's really hard to replicate harmonies like that.
Yeah.
Because these aren't 1-3-5s. These
No.
are like really to the point where I don't know what the lead is. The
Yeah.
lead or which is the harmony. I really don't know.
Yeah, no, and they blended so well together, and like just like the choices that they made, and Lane Staley being such an incredible vocalist, like he had such a like once again a versatile voice where he could like have such a nice soft tone and then get that like grunge like rasp to his voice. I just so I love that's totally one of
That's
the things
true.
I love. Really well-rounded singers. He was amazing.
Oh yeah. One thing I forgot to ask Eric was about his rasp, because it's probably a natural rasp. It's a nice rasp. It's not forced.
Well, yeah, you
It's
can
just
hear.
there.
You can
in the
hear
right
it in his
moments.
speaking voice too, that he has that kind of natural tone. So yeah, I think it totally sounds like it's a natural thing. But it's cool, like the control that he has over his voice and being able to put it on, but then have some like clarity when it's necessary. Like his choices as a vocalist, I really admire.
Yeah, and I like his vibrato. It's not much vibrato, but it's just enough vibrato. It's like it's a good speed of a vibrato.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's something I always struggled with, was the speed of my vibrato. I've always thought it was too fast, and I've spent a lot of time over the years trying to slow it down.
Yeah, I remember we had this discussion before, because like for me,
Singers talk, folks.
singers talk. Yeah. For me, vibrato was always something that I naturally had. I never tried to get it or
And
tried.
yours is nice and slow,
Yeah.
which I find very hard. I can't do how you can slow yours right down like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's just always something that I did naturally. Like I never knew what it even was before I even started learning about what I was doing. And then when I took voice lessons, one of the things that we had to work on was actually for me to stop putting vibrato on everything, because I didn't realize I would sing literally everything with vibrato. And then she's like, can you sing a note without that? I'm like, okay, let me try this.
Vibrato is very much a style choice, because in school, when I was taking music performance at Grant Mac, we were taught to hold and sustain the vibrato throughout a note from directly when you hit it and hold it out, because we were singing in the styles of jazz.
Yeah, that makes
We were
sense.
in it was totally a different way to sing, where when you're singing pop rock music, you're supposed to tail things with vibrato.
Yeah, so you suppress it until the very end, right?
Yeah, and that's more natural for me. I like sustaining a note and holding that note and then letting it tail off with the vibrato if I can.
See, I was the opposite, where I literally every note was vibrato, which like a lot of people thought that I was classically trained before I was actually classically trained, because I sang like that. And then when I went in for lessons, then that's when she was like, yeah, we should see if you can actually control this better.
But there's a producer I worked with at the time, we'll call him CJ. He when I had just gotten out of Grant Mac when I had started recording songs in that studio, And he said to me, take everything you learned from Grant Mack and throw it out right now. And I'm like, but I paid like $6,000 for this shit. Really? But just for the style, that's why. Because I wasn't singing jazz. I was a pop rock singer.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work. It's like the same thing as like an opera singer trying to sing like pop music. It doesn't really work.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with him on that. He was right. He was like, yeah, you don't be like, oh, right, like, chill out.
Chill out.
But it's actually difficult. I think it's more difficult to hold sustained vibrato throughout a whole note at the same constant speed too, because
Yeah.
as you run out of air,
Your vibrato
it's going to change
changes.
speed.
Yeah, totally.
I find it also better, easier to do a nicer, slower vibrato on lower notes than I do on high notes. My high notes are faster vibrato. That's when I go Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
That's where I sound like a lamb. Not that bad, but sorry, Stevie fans. I've never been a Stevie Nicks fan.
Really?
No, I'm not a Fleetwood Mac fan. You know, my friends get on me for that. Quite a few.
Yeah.
They're like, "How can you not like Fleetwood Mac?" I'm like, every time they cancel a show, I'll tell you again.
It was only what, 3 times? 2?
They came on the third time, I
It
think.
came on the 3rd time. Yeah, that's
It was
right.
the second in Edmonton, the second postponement, where I was like, enough with this. How can you guys put up with this as fans?
She is kind of old now, though.
That's true. That's true. And I'm just sitting there saying, we should let people be sick when they're sick.
We just had this
I'm
conversation.
like, damn you, Stevie Nicks.
And this wasn't even during the COVID-19 stuff.
No, this is just like old age colds and shit.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what actually. She was ill. I don't know what
She was
had.
sick, yeah. But
Two
yeah.
times or something.
It's
Who
bad-
knows? It's their
bad
business.
timing. Bad timing. It always sucks.
These are seniors on tour, right?
It's true. It's true.
Are they in their 60s now? Probably.
They gotta be
60s
at least.
or 70s.
Yeah, they got to be at least up there.
We want them to be safe.
Well, I definitely can understand, like, just going through normal jobs and having to push through when you're not feeling well, having to entertain thousands of fans when you're, like, kind of old and sick. That could be really difficult.
You got to give it up to the ones who can still consistently do it and rock the crowd. And like, if they have to cancel a few shows or postpone a few shows, that's cool. I get it. Look at Ozzy. It's because they keep doing it because they love their fans and it's all they've ever known how to do and they don't want to stop.
Yeah,
But Ozzy has to stop.
I think so.
Yeah.
The last concert I saw of him I very much enjoyed it. It was very entertaining, but in some ways it was probably entertaining for the wrong reasons, because I was getting a kick
Did you
out of
start-
watching him trying to run across the stage when he looked like he needed a walker to do it.
Is it entertaining? Because it's all.
It was.
Is it? Do you feel bad for him when you watch him? Are you like?
I
"Oh,
kind
why
of
are you
found it
doing this?"
adorable, to be
Adorable.
honest.
He's like a cute old man.
He's
like,
kind
you're
of a
just like,
cute old man, yeah.
"Aw." Even though he was the Prince of Darkness, now he's just like,
Aw,
oh, look
you're
at that little old
cute.
man running across the stage.
Well, it's the way he does it too, because he's got his shoulders pretty much up near his his ears, and his
He
arms
bounces he bounces up and down.
kind of like
singing.
a T-Rex.
He's T-Rexing.
He's kind of T-Rexing, yeah, like across the stage, and I'm just like, oh, that's cute. He's still trying to run. Like, I would just not.
He's done a lot of drugs
It's true.
back in the day,
It's true.
so he's actually doing all right. But a lot of people have said he's not. They don't think he'll be around much longer.
That's sad. I hope that's not.
Well,
the case.
I just wanted to depress everyone before I grabbed you another beer. I grabbed me another beer.
Have we figured out how to open this one
We
yet?
still don't know how to open this one bottle. I should take a picture of it and put it on.
How long? It's been how long now? An hour almost.
All we want to do
We
is
just
drink you.
just.
It's not fair.
Have we described how this bottle looks and why we can't open it?
Okay, it looks like one of those wine bottles that have like a wax top to them that usually have some kind of like a pull cord on it, where you just kind of like unwind the pull cord and it'll rip the top off, and then it's nice. That's what it looks like, but there's no pull cord, and it's a bitch. I can't get it out.
Should we get scissors? Is that a bad idea? We are drinking after all.
That was a nice burp. In the meanwhile, while I try to open this bottle, I'd like to play this. I'd like to play the clips of the 3 songs that I was going to tell you about.
Yes.
That I talked about with Eric, so that you know what the hell we were talking about. Maybe it would be cooler to show you video. One of them had a video, but one of them was the last song we talked about called "Nothing at All" off the album "Defying Gravity."
That's one of the new ones, right? The new albums? Newer?
It's a newer album. They also had a song, yeah. That came out in 2017. "Defying Gravity" is the name of the album. And that's the album that Eric was mentioning that he kind of felt was really rushed.
They did it in a short span of time, right?
And that was why they let him finally put that song on an album. Because he kept trying to do it. And they'd always be like, we don't really, it's okay. But I was like, this is the song on the album that I like the most.
That's awesome.
I love that groove. I can't get it any louder.
Tell me what it is, what you want while you shut me out. Who you gonna get to do it with you when you can't do it by yourself?
Sorry, you can't hear it.
Speak now, or forever hold your peace, y'all.
The only way I can turn it up is if I turn up my mic, because it's on the same channel.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what you love, what's in your blood. Tell the truth and rule the child. Get your soul saved, so say what you can't say out loud. Everybody's watching. Where do you stand when you land in the frying pan? Freedom ain't free when you're numb and the numbers up. Which way does the tree
Oh, I like that part.
read your mouth when your mind is saying nothing at all?
This has got a really, like, cool vibe to it. Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, beer.
making progress.
No, no. It's coming apart pretty easily.
Better believe me. How do you think it started?
Oh wait, I can't chew on it. COVID-19, you guys.
The never see it, no believing that the world is around. And it's coming
I laugh if you just made it harder to get open.
when you land in the frying pan. Freedom ain't free when you're numb and your numbers up. Which way does the tree fall when you can't read
Okay.
your mouth when your mind
So there's a sample of "Nothing at All" there from Mr. Big's album "Defying Gravity," which we talked about with Eric. The third song that we talked about with Eric from that list. The chorus isn't. See, that's a song that it doesn't get high really. He doesn't have a lot of like high note stuff happening there. It's just
No.
more kind of like a sexy.
It's about the
growly
vibe.
thing.
The vibe is really cool. Yeah, and, like, kind of sexy. And it's definitely, it's a different song. I like it.
I know. You know what you should do? I'll play those 3. You should think of a couple that you'd like to play, and we'll put them on too.
Absolutely. JD's had to listen to a lot of their songs this last week. I
Haha.
was like, listen to this one.
This is a good one. Okay. So another one from what we were talking about. I'm going down the list. There's a few. Oh. Sorry, I'll cut out the silence. There's a lot of Mr. Big have a lot of live albums because a lot of them were recorded in Japan.
I don't doubt it. They were huge, right? Like,
Absolutely
pretty
huge
much
in
like
Japan.
Beatle level huge to.
Massive. And the thing is, and I'm glad Eric said too, not everyone. Japan doesn't love everyone
Yeah.
just because they come over from North America, whatever. He's like, it's not everyone, but when they love you,
They really
it's
love
complete
you.
devotion.
Yeah.
Like you've always seen videos of people performing in Japan where
Yeah.
it's like the crowd's like crying and just absolutely enamored with what's going on
Yeah.
stage. Oh, Amazing.
That's probably like something that if you don't make it like really really huge in the States, that would definitely be kind of the next level, like to make it really huge in Japan, and having that sort of like status with them would definitely make it worthwhile, because obviously like it totally made their like they're living well now, right?
Yeah. I don't think success in the US is something that as a musician I would want to strive for as much as touring Europe or touring Japan, because of the fact that the fans are just so much more passionate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in America, they love their favorites and everything, but they're spoon-fed by radio and mainstream top 40 what they're supposed to be listening to.
Yeah.
And not every American's like that. I don't mean to say that. I'm talking about like the mass majority of where they get their music from. It's kind of just what's directed at them. Some people will still go and listen to what they like to listen to, or try to actively find new things. But it doesn't. It's just a mob mentality.
Yeah.
I'm never getting this thing open.
No, I'm just watching you.
I'm just chipping away at it. You know what? We could just crack another can.
That might be easier.
This is defaulting too. Well, no, I'm not going to the emergency room tonight. There's too much COVID out there.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Wake up in the morning, gotta shake the feeling. I gotta face the day of school. What's to be afraid of? I can ask a question, or maybe even bend the rules. I'm searching for a place where I'll fit in. There's a way, if I look, then I can win. Yeah, I can see I'm not alone. I can face the unknown. Everybody can succeed in yourself. You must believe. Give it a try. Let the rest see
It's a conspiracy.
It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network and happily powered by ATB.
We are a bi-weekly podcast that aims to discuss selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more without coloring the topic with our conversation, until the very end of the episode.
We also feature beer reviews, lame jokes, bad puns, far too many 80s movies references, geek culture, and general nerdery.
Our real aim is for fun, inclusive content that doesn't take itself too seriously.
You don't have to be blisteringly paranoid of mind control to enjoy a chin wag with your old pals, Greg, Charlie, Andrew, the Irish Madman, and our podcast puppies, Kylo and Ren.
It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ATB.
This is the New California Common, which is kind of a red ale.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
They're going to progressively get darker and spicier.
Nice.
This is what I call an IPA. Have you had IPAs before?
No.
IPA, India Pale Ale, is known for a high hop content,
Yeah.
which gives it that bitter flavor.
That's right.
Which I call spicy beer.
Spicy beer. I like it.
I like easy drinking fucking like lagers.
Yeah. Spicy beer. Interesting though. I like that.
But super craft beer connoisseurs, they love IPAs. It's like the more bitter it's like lay it on them. Can't do it. Or thick stouty beer. They like that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to enjoy this shit.
Yeah, it would take me like 3 hours to drink that. I'm like not super picky when it comes to beer, but it would just take me a long time to drink because it's just so heavy, right?
The most common stout of all is Guinness, I believe. And I remember having my first Guinness for obviously St. Patrick's Day. No, Guinness is on sale, so you have to have a Guinness on St. Patrick's Day. And I'm just like, this is gross. I'm having
Why
a
do
really
people
hard
like
time
this?
eating this beer.
Eating. I've seen people chug that beer. I'm like, how do you
Oh.
not puke right afterwards? Like I've had Guinness where like I sipped on it and it was okay. Like, I'm really not that picky, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it took me forever because it was so thick. I'm
I wanted to throw some fucking vegetables and meats in it and make a stew. Guinness stew's good. Guinness stew's great, but it also
I can
has
see how that would.
food in it. So there you go.
You have a meal, you're good.
Oh, I love Irish food. It's hearty.
Yeah.
It's meat and potatoes. Oh. And then I say, I also use toilet paper for like, oh, by the way, you've got some gold sitting in front of you. I have a roll of toilet paper
I was
sitting on
gonna
the
sneak
desk.
that before you even.
You were
saw
going to take it home with you, weren't you?
I was just like slowly getting it closer and closer.
I put it out in like a candy bowl for my guests. Here, you need to wipe something? Good. You get one shit ticket.
Just one shit ticket.
This is from the album Hey Man from 1996, called Going Where the Wind Blows.
I love this song.
Someone said life is for the taking. Here I am with my hand out.
That fucking voice.
Waiting for a ride.
Oh, that vibrato is so good.
I've been living on my great expectations. What good is it when I'm stranded here and the world just passes by? Where are the signs to help me get out of this place? If I should stumble on my moment in time, how will I know?
That's a good chorus.
I love this chorus.
Stories written on my face. Does it show? Am I strong enough to walk on water? Smart enough to come in out of the rain? Or am I a fool going where the wind blows?
That's a beauty, eh?
I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs.
When I was first talking to Eric before I really hit the record button, I was trying to figure out if the call was recording, because I get so nervous that
That it's
we
not
could
going.
talk and nothing recorded.
Yeah.
He goes, that's okay. He goes, why don't you press stop right now and go and find the file and listen to it and see if it worked. And I said, okay. So I'm trying to find it, and I'm just like, my brain is just melting. It's Chernobyl inside my skull, and he's talking to me, and he's like, he's just talking to me about stuff, and I can't concentrate on what I'm doing because I just love talking to him, and then he said something about if you're gonna ask me about the standard questions like, do you still like singing To Be With You? I love singing To Be With You. You know, like stuff like that. And he was so cool. He made me laugh. I was just like, I love this guy.
He seemed really cool. Like just like really chill, and like I love how chatty he was. I love that he was just he seemed like he was just so stoked to be talking to you, and like, you know, like after.
And he gets a phone call from another person who
so
wanted to interview him or something in the middle of our interview. And I love that he answered it.
I love that he answered it, and then I love that he told him like, I will call you back. I got another interview to do. Right?
I'm in the middle of this interview right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I will call you back. How long is the time frame? I was going to be like, 20 minutes. I could wrap it up in 20 minutes. And then we talked for like another hour and a half. I'm like, how's your time? Oh, it's fine.
He can wait.
He can wait. It's cool.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Like he
That's
seemed
stellar.
really cool, and like genuinely sounded like he really wanted to talk to you. And
I want to
like,
be friends, Eric.
Yeah.
Can
Like
we-
seriously,
when I'm
you
gonna
sound
come
like it'd
hang
be like a
out?
fun friend to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think very much so.
Yeah.
I think go down there. By the end of this podcast, we will have this beer open.
We will. What's the running time now? Hour and a half?
Oh, we're going to edit the shit out of this. We've been chatting recorded for an hour and 12 minutes. We probably have about 25 minutes of content we can actually play. I'll be generous and say 40. The third song. This was the song where he actually grabbed the guitar, I think, was where I like lost my fucking mind. Bump Ahead's a great album too, hey? Dude, that was the album that came out after Lean Into It. It has the cover of Wild World.
Oh, I love Wild World.
There's an expanded version of Lean Into It. Oh, it's probably got... Oh, the drill. Did you like the drill story? Yeah. How he kept getting his hair caught in the drill?
In the drill, yeah. And he had the wig, right? The wig.
For the second time?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was still in there?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. What is all of these? Oh, I'm looking for the album Deep Cuts.
Deep Cuts, yeah.
I think this is it. The best of the ballads. So I'm looking for... wait. Was it Where Are They Now? Yes.
Yes. I think that's the one.
I think it was Where Are They Now? Oh, I hit play. This is Where Are They Now from Deep Cuts. I hope this was the one.
I have to go back and listen.
Staring back from inside my mirror. Boy, I used to know.
I can't remember.
Shining eyes that see right through my
Yeah, it is.
Cowboys and kings and flying
I haven't really played anything super heavy yet.
You do Addicted to That Rush.
That's going to be coming up then. There's a lot of ones that he suggested that we should look up to put in the podcast too, hey?
That's right.
Is there really anything to laugh? Makes me wonder if time is a bullet, 'cause everything is happening too fast. I lost. Where are they now? The things I touched.
I think it's the chorus I want of this song. I love this chorus. Yeah, I like that chorus a lot. And I like the harmony on it.
They're really good for harmonies normally, though. I love their musicality.
Yep.
5 o'clock shadows, another pencil in the drawer, tripping over echoes in my head. Wishing I was someone else instead.
Like literally, Billy Sheehan is one of the most famous bass players. He's widely regarded in bass circles as one of the best bass players of all time in rock and roll.
Yeah.
And Paul Gilbert, very fantastic virtuoso guitar player. Oh, I'm getting the beer open.
So this whole time we could have just used a bottle opener.
No, I don't think so. It wouldn't have got a grip on the side. I still can't quite.
Oh, there's still a cap on it.
It would have come out better if I hadn't just tried to cut through it. Because now I just made it worse. This is just an awful project.
I'm still just wondering how any drunk person could get into that.
That's the thing. You're going to be sober by the time you get in. It kind of regulates what you're doing.
There you go. That's what it is.
Modulation, like that.
Yes.
Where are they now? The first song on their very first album is Addicted to That Rush, 1989. This is it. This is a remastered version. Something a little heavier for everybody. Kendra's air guitar is fucking hot right now. She's just giving her.
Nod to my guitar teacher, Brandon Healy. He said that I would get better at my guitar, air guitar.
Have you air guitar too? It's more straight ahead rock and roll, that one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think it's more about what, like the playing. It's more
Yeah.
focused on the playing.
Yeah,
But
but
it
then
is-
like later on, he hits some like the last note he hits in the entire song is such a like rock scream note. It's so cool.
Sick guitar solo.
I know this like the guitar is so awesome in this song.
Wow. Paul shreds like Nuno does. Nuno Betancourt from Extreme.
Yes.
They're very, they've got a lot of similarities. I want to hear this scream. It's a real jam song. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their part where they show off. Nice. That's hard.
That is hard, right? I saw a video of him doing that live, and he made it look like it was nothing. He was just like, whatever, I'm hitting this high note now.
It's no problem.
Whatever.
Remember this one. What does CDFF stand for in this song?
CDFF.
Oh, I love the feel of the guitar there. That's a thick wall of sound I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song's fantastic. I'm gonna have a bitch of a time editing this. How much of what do I put in? Wasn't this one a single? I feel like it was a later single.
I feel like maybe it was, yeah.
Here's a nice chorus right here. I believe you might be lucky. And then it gets heavy again. Anyways, yeah,
That's awesome.
that's a friggin' amazing song.
They have so many of them though.
Colin Krieger, as a guest on the show, had asked me a couple of weeks back or so who my top 3 artists are, just period in life.
Yeah,
So number 1's Bon Jovi.
absolutely. I knew that.
So number 2 is Extreme.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out who number 3 would be. I think it might be these guys.
These are yeah, you know, these guys like growing up were some of my favorite music like growing up, and I thank my sister for that because she definitely turned me on to them. I actually have this memory of
That's
when
cool.
I want to say, how old would I have been? Maybe 8. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably because 8. I was about. It was 1992 that "To Be With You" was out, right? Was it around that?
That
time?
sounds right. That
Yeah.
sounds.
So
that
I
sounds
would have
like the
been
right year.
about grade 2-ish. And I remember my older sister Danielle. She listened to The Bear, and they had their request hour that they were taking people's requests, and she had turned me on to this song "To Be With You," and I loved it. So she was going to call in and keep calling in to try and get this song played on the radio for me. And I don't know why I still remember this to this day, but I remember her doing this, and I was so excited because I'm like, she's going to talk on the radio. She's going to play the song for me because I was in grade 2, and everything was amazing when you're in grade 2. And she got through, and they played it, and they even said my name on the radio, and I was just like, so stoked. And I still remember this like to this day. That was so long ago. But it was "To Be With You," and I remember that. And like Mr. Big was like one of my favorite bands after that.
That's such a sweet memory.
Yeah, but like that has always stuck with me. Every time I think of Mr. Big, I think of that memory. So it's like it's pretty cool. But like their music, like I said, is just it's so good. Like,
Do you have another song you'd like to share?
oh man, there's so many. There's actually this one called "Take Cover." I love that one.
Take Cover. Do you remember which album?
I think the album.
Because I can search otherwise, but
I thought there was an album. Was it "Take Cover" the album or?
I think there's an album called Take Cover.
Yeah, I think that's the title track.
Yeah, demo. Well, there's a demo version of the song Take Cover. This is off of Take Cover. Oh no, it's off of Hey Man. It's off of Hey Man. I want to play that one. This is Take Cover on 100.3 The Bear. Just kidding.
I loved the drumming in this song.
Pat Torpy. Rest in peace, Pat.
Rest in peace.
The voice.
I know, so good.
Can we go to karaoke now?
I know. I want to sing every Mr. Big song ever.
I'm serious.
I love this part.
Ooh. Ooh. I like where that went.
Yeah.
Oh, Undertow. I gotta play a little Undertow. Do you know Undertow?
I don't think I know this song.
That intro is very Bon Jovi 2002-ish. Like the song Every Day. Chorus is good. That's a great outro of the chorus.
Totally.
But yeah, that's that song does remind me of Bon Jovi in that. Just this one song they did called Every Day.
Oh, okay.
Except this chorus is much more melodic than the Bon Jovi chorus.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in danger of violating my SOCAN license tonight. I'm allowed to play a certain amount of content, up to 80% musical content on this podcast by law. I paid for that. In the States, there's something called like I think it might apply to Canada too. There's a free license where if you are providing commentary.
I was like, what is that noise I could hear?
If you're just providing commentary about like music or whatever, as in a review situation, like kind of like what we're doing, it's completely free.
Oh, really?
It's completely free. It's yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But yeah, there's just so much music though with Mr. Big that you could easily just play a bunch of it.
I know. I'm going to be out of control. I swear. I think they're beautiful, beautiful, amazingly talented, incredible songwriters. I am such a huge fan of Mr. Big, and it's been one of the highlights of my life that I got to chat with Eric.
Like, seriously, I was so excited for you because like I'm such a huge fan too, and I know like you and I have talked a lot about like music and like how much we really enjoy certain people, and like I feel like we kind of get to the same level of excitement for people, and
yeah.
So like when you asked me to be on this, like I was just like super stoked to be a part of it too, because I really have been enjoying your podcast like thoroughly. Been talking to everybody about it because like it takes me back to the music that I grew up on that I loved, and like getting to kind of relive all that is like super exciting. And then getting to do this podcast with one of my favorite bands, which is also one of your favorite bands, and then you actually get to talk to Eric Martin, which is like just it's just so cool.
It really excites me how excited you were about Mr. Big, because I didn't know the level of fandom that you had for them. So I mean, it's so cool. And the thing about doing this podcast is it gives me a lot of joy in life. It gives me like taking me back to those songs that really made me excited about music in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of what I've listened to over the years since. But this was the era where I discovered music that I liked for myself, that I chose for myself to listen to, not what I had to listen to because my parents listened to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the beauty of that is like reliving that. And the fact is I've never stopped listening to these songs.
No, neither have I. And like it just holds like kind of like a special place for you. Like I know for myself at least, like because it's crazy how music can take you literally back to a moment in your life that you remember so like deeply. And like I said, that memory of my sister, it was such a small memory, but it totally Like, cause that was a big part of like her and I growing up, and like
Your bond.
our bond, because like she listened to so much music. Like she's a huge music lover as well. And
Which sister are you talking about?
Danielle, my
Okay.
older sister, yeah. So like she's got such a wide range of music that she loves and listens to. And so when I was growing up, I had so many influences because my mom listened to country, my dad listened to like classic rock, and then she listened to like a lot of 80s hair metal, and then like the really like cool like 90s grunge stuff, and like just so much that like, you know, whenever I was like, I want to like listen to something new, here, try this, you know, she was always like, here, try this. And just like, so a lot of my musical influences came from her, and like some like my favorite ones. So like this was always one that like really, really stuck out for me. And like just I loved his voice from like the get-go. Eric Martin has like one of the best voices I've ever heard.
It's Bada.
Yeah, I like it's one of those like it's very rare.
It's a
that-
hot knife cut into butter.
Absolutely. And, like, well, especially like finding a voice that you literally could listen to on repeat and not get tired of.
Yeah.
That is a rare thing, and I feel like he's got that.
He's got this thing in his tone that just makes me relaxed, and it gives me like endorphins or something. Like just his tone, and it's just a blessing he has.
Yeah, he's definitely got a gift, and the fact that he still has it, because you can tell the quality from when like he was just playing those little clips. You can still hear it. I was just like,
I bet you one day down the road, maybe in a few months or so, maybe he'll come back on if I shoot him an email.
that'd be really cool. I would
Yeah.
book the day off to be there.
You
for
should.
it.
You should.
Green tinted 60s.
I can't survive COVID-19 because I can't not do karaoke. Oh. I need to sing, and I have no band. We could do house karaoke. It'd be like, we're gonna test you before you come in. Cough into this. Okay. All right, you can sing tonight.
Testing everybody.
Don't you wish they had an instant test for it? Because then we'd be like, no, you can't sing.
Yeah.
You got like put this litmus paper on your mouth. Oh, it's green. You can't sing. Kendra, thank you so much for talking with me about Mr. Big today.
Thank you for having me. I
And
really,
joining
really
us.
enjoyed it. I love your podcast.
Is there anything you want to plug?
What do I want to plug? I don't know nothing to plug.
Because when you say something really stupid like cars cost less in Wetaskiwin.
Oh my God, I should.
Can you just sing that for us?
Legend of the Chevy Farm.
Westgate Chevrolet. Nobody in North America knows except Edmontonians.
Yeah, I work there, so I guess that's a good plug. I should have thought
At Westgate Chevrolet?
I work at Westgate Chevrolet.
That's Westgate?
That's Westgate. Yeah, I work at the Chevy Farm.
You're like famous. Westgate Chevrolet.
Did you know that we even have a little mascot dog that is at work with us now?
Is it a live dog or?
He's a live dog. His name's Chai.
Chai is an awful name.
No, it's totally a cute name though.
Okay.
Because he's got the totally color of like a chai latte.
He's a latte?
Kind of.
Oh, so he's got those speckles on him?
He's a husky though.
What a beautiful
Actually,
pupper.
he's a Pomsky. He's a Pomsky, so like a husky Pomeranian.
Oh, I want to pet him.
He's really, really cute and really sweet. And he's even got a picture up on the website. I don't even have a picture up on the website. That's how much more important he is than me.
The legend of the Chevy Farm.
Down here in the West.
People-
Ba-ba-da-da-da-da-ba.
Now people come from far and wide to put us to the test.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And when the dealing's done, they'll agree there's only one that leads the way. Legend of the Chevy Farm. Westgate Chevrolet. See you guys next week.
Hit up our Instagram, dope_nostalgia. You like Twitter better? That's cool. Nostalgia dope. Or shoot us an email, dopenostalgiapodcast@gmail.com.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.